So, welcome back to Rust Electronics. Today we've got an FAQ, so this is just going to be questions that people have asked me about how to do stuff. So, the agenda, we're going to start with a daylight sensor, fake doors, and then a power grid, flame trap and auto closer. I'll go into more detail as I get closer. So, start here, daylight sensor. This was asked by Michael Johnson on YouTube on my last video, and he wanted me to make a system where the lights turn on during the night and they turn off during the day. So I've got a system here. It's a little bit dodgy because I'm using batteries and these have all... Oh, actually no, they haven't run out. This just needs to go in here. Right. So during the day, these will be off, but you see the problem is with this, you have to use a comparator. So I made a comparator. It simply uses an electrical branch, and if you set the value in the electrical branch as 7 and then take the power out, put it into an XOR as well as your power source, when it turns to, I believe it is 19 o'clock, so that's 7 PM, they should turn on. No, maybe 10 then. 20. There we go. So they turn on just as it's getting dark, and then they should turn off. No, wrong one. They should turn off at about 8. So if you're going to build this in your own house, you might have to fanny around with this electrical branch a little bit. Let's try this at 9. Yep, there we go. So you might have to mess around with the electrical branch a little bit. Basically what this does is the power coming in from the root combiner up here, at the time you want it to be off, that is, yeah, so at the time you want the lights to turn on, sorry, you want to see how much power this is generating, and then you subtract it with the electrical branch, and then you take the power out, and what's left, because basically electrical branches always favour the branch out, what's left will be used as logic to power the lights. Alright, so now I'm going to show you how to build this. First you want a power source, so I'm using a solar panel which goes into a splitter and charges the batteries, so we will put that in here. And that will charge the batteries. This is going to be our output. So now the power output wants to go into input B of an XOR gate. And then you want the branch here. You want to take the power out of the branch, which goes into input A. And then the power in of the branch goes to power there. So if you watched my NOT gates video, oh yeah, I need to put that in there. If you watch my NOT gates video, if both of these are giving power, then there's no output. But as soon as this is not giving power, so if we take this out, it will turn the lights on. So this does not give power when the output of this power output is 25. So the next one is fake doors. Sorry, this is one suggested by an anonymous user on Discord. He reached out to me through my Discord username in the description of every video. He asked me to create a sort of random door opener and closer that'll lure people in, and then they'll get trapped in here and starve or burn to death with a trap. I don't know, maybe. But I took it on, and this is what I have got. It's a little bit complicated. There's a lot of components, but I think that I could explain this pretty well. So first we want to start with the timing circuit. Now this is one that I devised. I'm not sure how common this is. I can't find anything on YouTube. I think one of the problems with searching Rust Electronics is that it comes up with like tips to clean your electronics that are rusty or whatever. So we want to do a little crisscross. So we take the output of this and we put it in, and we take the input of this and put it to the out, and then we take the power there. No, never mind. Wrong way around. We take the output of the switch to the blocker, and then we take the power in. Okay, so when we flick this switch, it will repeatedly output like that. Now we have a problem though, because we need a splitter, and I believe that is what I was using this one for, so I will quickly switch these around. Okay, there we go, so I've just switched these around, and now we have the power out going into this splitter, so these two inputs will be working on our timing circuit. You can see over here that it flashes on and off. If you want to know more about how this works, I do have a lot of interesting systems using blockers, so that'll be coming soon, and I'll tell you how this works. It might be pretty self-explanatory, but maybe not to some people. Anyway, let's move on. So now we've got our timing circuit. All we need to do now is use this. So we have 3 doors with 3 door openers and timers on them. So the timers are set to random intervals, so this is 12 seconds, 15 and 18 maybe. And this circuit is just going to basically turn them on and off. So if we take this output here, put it into 3. I chose 3 doors just because it's 3 on a splitter. And then we can take this, I'll just jump up here, and then we put that into the toggle on. The output goes into the power in. So now we just need to repeat that on all 3 of them. Alright, once you've done that, you need to power them all up. So we need to take another power output here. And I'll just bring this up on the roof, and then I've got a splitter here, so you just need to give all of the timing power. Alright, so as you can see here, 17 seconds, 15. You can change these to how much you like, but basically what this is going to sound like is, that's powering it. What this is going to sound like is just a load of doors being opened and closed. So let's flick the switch and see what it sounds like. So when you first start it up, they're all going to open as well, and then they'll start closing at random intervals and opening again. So, as you could hear there, it does sound like there's just someone running around in this base. And I remember someone on our server where we were first building this testing this, there was someone thought there was someone in the building. So, as far as I know, it works pretty well. Okay, power grid. Now, this is an interesting one. This comes from myself. I wondered if I could create a power grid that has like a solar array, and it gets stored in a load of batteries, and then you can distribute it to people around the map. So up here we have a small solar array, wasn't working very well, so I switched out with generators just for ease of use. Now the good thing about large rechargeable batteries is that they output a constant 100 watts. So if we put these into electrical branches and then have this up here, we can choose how much gets sent to each person. So the top left, the branch out, is always going to be going somewhere. So if we say here we've got 255, the branch out, if we just clear this real quick, the branch out of here is 254 because this dissipates 1 watt. So we can change how much power each person gets. So say we want to send 20 volts to green. We adjust for the dissipation, we put 21, and then green gets 20. And then we can do it all here. So then the power out goes into the input of the next one. You keep branching it out, and then eventually you have, this is your remaining power, so you can use this for yourself, or you can keep adding branches. But that's a little bit of a lousy solar array. Over here I have a bit of a better one. There was one I built with 128 solar panels, but that was on an old server, and that has sadly decayed. Yeah, I was quite sad about that. It took me ages, but these batteries have been charging overnight, so I don't know if you can see that because I have my HUD really small, but that's actually 3 hours and 21 minutes, 3 hours and 23 minutes. And then what you can do is use the same system as in there, because remember these all output a solid 100 watts. Use the same system in there, and you can store power and recharge it and send it out to people across the map with these little huts that I built. Sadly, all this is decayed. These little huts I built, so you just basically take an input, goes in there, dissipates 1 watt, and then you send it somewhere else. The upkeep is minimal, 99 per 24 hours. So you could just put these across the map and dissipate power to anyone that pays for it. Okay, so Chef David, was it Chef David? Chef David 22 asked me if I could make a simpler flame trap. Now, I altered this slightly and decided to make a flame trap that can actually go into your base and is useful. So in here we will have a laser that opens this door and you get burned, and you'll see why this shelf is here in a second. Very similar setup to my last video. I'm going to replace these batteries with a small generator just for ease of use. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the power here, power in, that's just from the solar panels, just ignore that. So we're going to take this power in here, power out, sorry, and we just need to power this switch. We need to power, and we need to power this laser. So then what we need to do is we just need to have the laser, when the laser is tripped, we take the power out here. When the laser is tripped, it goes into here and it sets the doors, and then we have a simple output which goes into, which one was it? The output goes over here into this door controller, and then the inverted output goes down here and into this door controller. So just open that, close that, and then we can clip through here. So where we trip the tripwire, the whole system is, the doors are going to lock. We need to power that up as well. Okay, so the doors should be open. No, that should be closed. Right, now we just need to test it out. So if we reset it, go outside here, when we walk in, it's going to close behind us, that one's going to open. Now, the reason I have these salvage shelves here is because if you run through a tripwire, it doesn't detect it. So we have to make them go like that. And the reason I have a tripwire is because I discovered something pretty neato. If you have a light, like a ceiling light, let me just plug the light in. If you have a ceiling light, it actually blocks that laser from view. Look at that, you can't see that. Unless you're really looking for it, you wouldn't even know it was there. And you think this is just a sort of trap thing, the salvage shelves to make you crouch. But actually, it is not. You cannot see that laser at all. And I was quite excited when I found that out. And then to reset, as always, just flip the switch, turn it back on again. Or you could use the momentary switch I've been working on, which will be coming out in a video soon. And now that's quite an interesting one. Maybe not for most people, but still quite interesting for me. Okay, on to the next one. The auto closer. This is one that my friend asked me in game. So he wanted me to make a system that when you can open all your doors, and then when you run through them, they all close. So yep, I have done this once again. So we just need a small generator. Again, you can use whatever power source you want. So now how many outputs we've got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got 7 power outputs. I think that is enough. And we just wire this over here, take it to the electrical input. Then we need to split this, and we have 3 doors with memory cells on them. So they all get set, and we have door openers on them as well. So basically just need to start up, just need to wire power to everything that needs power. When I said power, I meant a switch input. As far as this system goes, the pressure pads and the memory cells are all that need power. So if we just wire them all up, the next door should be around there. So if I run through here, and then we need to just wire up, power in all of these pressure pads, which I think is kind of stupid, but whatever. Having to power pressure pads really reduces their use a little bit, but it's not the end of the world. I'm just doing messy wiring here as well, just because I can't be bothered to do anything else. So we just got one more to do. Power that in there. Okay. Now, each of these pressure pads, the output, which is here, goes up here, and it resets. Does it? Yes, it does. It resets the memory cell. Now over here we have a switch. Again, you could use my momentary switch that I will be showcasing in my next video. We have a switch that sets them all. So if we just plug these all in. Nice. And this one isn't working because just Rust being dodgy. There we go. So now all we need to do is just set these, and then we can run through them and they'll all close behind us. And there we go. And then possible intruders, there's no way for them to get in through the pressure pads. So I think it's a very good system. Thanks for the suggestion, Sam. So thank you for watching this video. I hope it cleared a few things up. If you had any issues, remember you can always message me on Discord, YouTube, wherever, asking me, and I will happily do any project for you because I really do like this electronics thing. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video, which will probably be my momentary switch video, and that's quite an exciting one because I have never seen anyone do it before. But yeah, thanks a lot, and see you later.